Here in Hartford, News 22 reports on the proposed budget cuts for Eastern Connecticut State University. Stay tuned to find out more.
See how Eastern is making a big splash at Wyndham Tech next on News 22.
Good evening and welcome to News 22. I'm Christina Janitatis.
And I'm Sierra Brown.
This week, Senator Christopher Dodd told CNN that he was responsible for language added to the federal stimulus bill regarding bonuses that companies receive from the federal bailout money. Dodd admitted to putting bonus provision in the bill despite his earlier denials. The Treasury Department officials say the administration pushed for the language. AIG Insurance Company is under investigation for dishing out big bonuses after taking the bailout money.
Due to the investigation regarding the bailout money, AIG, the firm's executives, have begun returning all or part of the $165 million bonuses they received from the bailout plan. The insurance giant received pressure from the Obama administration as well as Congress over the bonus money for executives. House Democratic leaders announced plans for a vote on legislation to tax away 90% of the extra pay for executives at AIG and many other bailed-out firms.
Fannie Mae plans to pay up to $611,000 in retention bonuses each to 4 key executives this year, as a part of the plan to keep hundreds of employers from leaving the government-controlled company. Freddie Mac is planning similar awards, but not yet reported on how much executive will benefit. The two companies together own and back more than half the home mortgages in the country and have been skyrocketing loan defaults. Fannie recently requested $15 billion in federal aid, while Freddie has sought a total of almost $45 billion.
There have been questions about whether or not the CSU school systems will shut down a branch. Reporter Simone Oliva went to the state capitol to find out more about the proposed budget cuts for the CSU school system.
President Nunez of Eastern has been able to make budget cuts in other areas without firing staff. But if this plan doesn't go as well as we hope it will, it is possible that the CSU colleges will be forced to cut 295 faculty and staff. We're here in Hartford to find out more about the issue. Students and faculty met at the Capitol to speak with their legislators. We got a chance to speak with a representative of the 61st District to find out more about the budget cut.
In a time where your economy is in a downturn, more and more students coming out of high school are going to look to, and their parents as well, to the state university system for that education. They're not necessarily going to have the funds they did 2 years ago to go to the college that they thought they might want to. And the university systems itself, the money we as a state have invested in the university system over the past 10 years, we can't let that go backwards. And we have developed one of the top state university systems in the country. More and more individuals taking advantage of that, and in an economy like this, something that we can help make affordable to them. So when you start cutting back in a time like this, you're limiting that opportunity for growth for those students coming out of high school to get their education in the state of Connecticut, turn around and stay in the state of Connecticut, working, paying taxes, contributing to their own community and the state as a whole. So I just see that as a reverse way to look at this, and we really need to look to, again, continue to strengthen our state university systems, open up those slots for students in our state to attend classes at our state university system.
We also had a chance to speak with a student from Western and see how he felt about the proposed budget cut.
Our largest concern right now would be whether or not we're going to be losing professors and other funding that we need. Clearly, we have increased enrollment, we have increased applications every year. There's a demand for our universities, and we really can't afford to provide less and fewer classes.
The effects of cutting the CSU faculty and staff will be detrimental to students. Their tuition will rise, their class sizes will increase, and this will lesser their education. It is important for students to talk to their legislative branch about these issues and see how they can help. Outside the Capitol, I'm Simone Oliva for News 22.
Closing one of the CSU schools is a last resort decision. It is more likely that the state will cut faculty, and staff before making such a drastic decision.
This week, Attorney General signaled a change on medical marijuana policy. Federal agents will target marijuana distributors only when they violate both deferral and state law. A change from the Bush administration targeted medical marijuana disciplinaries in California even if they complied with the state's law. California law permits the sale of medical marijuana, though it still is against the law. Law enforcement officers will no longer prospect raids by the Drug Enforcement Administrators, but officers will target anyone who tries to use medical marijuana laws as a shield for other illegal activity.
Marijuana, to legalize or not to legalize, that is the question. News 22 reporter Jenna Hagist has the story.
Eastern's debate team got fired up Wednesday evening about whether or not to legalize the use of marijuana. I'm here at the Student Center to see how they felt about this issue. The president of the debate team, Vicar Centino, believes that legalizing marijuana would leave the police and court systems more time for serious crimes. She also discussed how the legalization of marijuana would affect our economy.
Massachusetts has passed a law you can have 4 ounces or more on your person, but if you smoke it in public or if they catch you with it, you get a ticket. Rather than going to jail, you get a ticket, which is better for the state because the state gets that ticket money and you're not in jail.
The legalization of marijuana would affect mostly men and women between the ages of 20 and 30, I would say.
Another member of the team, Shayna Alderman, discussed the health perspective for legalizing marijuana.
Exposure to Delta-9 THC, which is the main ingredient in marijuana, which has over 400 ingredients, may cause retardation in embryos.
The intensity of the debate shows that the legalization of marijuana is clearly still a controversial issue. From the Student Center Theater, Jenna Hagis, News 22.
Thanks, Jenna. The debate team meets every Wednesday at 3 p.m. in the library. Don't be afraid to come and voice your opinions in some heated debates.
Former President George W. Bush has begun and already written a 30,000-word memoir called Decision Points that will cover everything from how he found faith, quit drinking, and how he chose Karl Rove and Dick Cheney for their jobs. Bush has been reported working 2 and 3 hours each morning, writing 1,000 to 1,050 words. He has been typing away, wanting to write a book that is different, less conventional and chronological, not about history, and a book people will want to read.
As you have heard, last month, a 70-year-old woman was attacked by her friend's chimpanzee in Stamford. The chimp ended up being shot down by a police officer after it went after him while he was in his cruiser. The mauled woman suffered severe injuries to her face, neck, and hands. Now the family of the victim is seeking $50 million in damages from the owner, which are a prelude to an expected lawsuit to be filed.
Puerto Rican puppies are coming to Connecticut. Strays from Puerto Rico have been rescued and are heading to our state to find new homes. In their native Puerto Rico land, many strays starved to death, are set on fire, poisoned, and left in the street. The dogs that make it to the island's shelters are put to sleep. Volunteers from the Puerto Rico Animal Welfare Society resued the dogs. 45 homeless mutt puppies are in Connecticut looking for good homes. 25 more will be coming later this week. If you want to adopt the Puerto Rican puppies, they will be at the Connecticut's Super Adoption event in Stamford this weekend.
Looking for a way to save some bucks? How about recycling those empty cans? Hartford is now trying a new approach to turn its residents into recyclers. A sensor on the bin records the address and pounds of the pickup. A tally is kept online by Recycle Bank and points are awarded to homeowners. The points can be used at local businesses like Big Y, FedEx, Shaw's, and more city officials say not only will residents, but towns save too. By having fewer loads taken to the trash to energy plants, the city will save on costs.
Summer's coming up and around the corner, it's time to bring out the citronella candles and bug spray for those pesky mosquitoes. But scientists claim they might someday be replaced by a laser-guided WMD weapon of mosquito destruction. The same rocket scientists who designed the Cold War-era defense system use the same laser technology to zap mosquitoes build the parts bought on eBay, the laser worked 100 feet away. The goal is to fight malaria, which kills about 1 million people a year.
News 22 will return with this week's editorial.
Hello, little prince.
Mother, what we gonna do today?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My first real bad experience with alcohol.
My first experience with drinking.
My first experience drinking.
I went shot for shot with a bunch of guys.
Gulped down the whole thing.
We finished a liter.
I drank a little bit too much.
There was a lot of vomiting. I ended up passed out in a closet.
I had to go to the hospital because I was sick. Found out that one of my real close friends was in the hospital.
I was 13, 14,
15, 13.
Listen up, energy hogs. We got a real porker of a house here. Get in there and waste some energy.
There's no insulation, boss. It's Hog-Heaven.
Leaky windows, too. This is gonna be a breeze. Perfect. Go wild and waste some wattage.
Time to tan. Oh, there's hot water for just one pair of pants. My kind of place. This thing's so old, it's gonna take me hours to get dry.
Keep wasting. They'll never know what hit them till they hit the energy bill.
Boss, they're home. Energy efficient bulbs.
You've got the power to get rid of Energy Hogs. You can help your parents add insulation, put in Energy Star appliances, and lots of other things to make your home hog-free. Find out how at energyhog.org and play fun games too.
Oh, retreat! Retreat!
Go to energyhog.org and get the Energy Hogs out of your home.
Hey, wait for me!
We're back and we have with us Simone Oliva with this week's editorials. Take it away, Simone.
Thank you, ladies. In American society, there is profound importance on gender. When parents are expecting a child, typically their friends and family will desperately want to find out the sex of the baby. If the baby is a boy, he will get trucks and a blue blanket. If it's a girl, she will get a doll and a pink blanket. However, intersex babies are born every day. What color is their blanket? A person born intersex is considered not strictly either male or female due to the characteristics of their reproductive organs. Sometimes parents won't know their child is intersex because on a female body, the reproductive glands are on the inside. Intersex children may not find out their reproductive status until puberty when they visit the doctor. These kinds of circumstances can affect how a parent will categorize the gender of their child. If the child looks like a girl, it must be, right? No. Genders that have been assigned by a child's parent or doctor may not be compatible with that individual's actual psychological, hormonal, and emotional makeup. The result amounts to a person living a seemingly unnatural life following preset gender roles, like playing baseball or taking ballet lessons, that don't necessarily apply to them. Imagine waking up every day knowing you're a boy or a girl, when everyone around you, even your loved ones, tell you that you're someone else. Sounds terrible, right? It is. And it happens to a lot more people than you'd think. For example, one of 1,000 male babies are born with an extra X sex chromosome, which is the dominant female chromosome. This extra X affects the development of the reproductive system, which causes reduced fertility. In many cases, males or females that carry an extra chromosome will be eliminated from competitions in sports leagues because of the DNA that they have in their makeup. Unfortunately, these people find themselves unable to compete or participate in events like the Olympics. Americans generalize the characteristics that make up someone's sex, and by doing so, we have built gender roles that encompass our everyday life. We neglect others that are not built into our socialized gender categories. It is important that as a society, we acknowledge different sexes to be just as validated as any male or female. For more information on this topic, please visit the website for Intersex Society of North America at www.isna.org. ISNA advocates for a stop to discrimination and necessary surgery for individuals who can't be classified as either male or female. In typical terms, for News 22, I'm Simone Oliva. Please have a safe and healthy spring break.
Jess, I don't know what to do.
What's wrong? I thought today was the night. What happened?
I know it's supposed to be, but he doesn't have a condom. He said he doesn't have any money. He spent it all at the bar.
Well, don't go through with it if he doesn't have a condom.
I know, but he really wants it.
Oh, I know. I heard the other day that Health Services gives away free condoms.
Free condoms?
Free condoms!
Whoa! Did I just hear you guys say free condoms?
Free condoms! Health Services not only takes care of you when you're sick, but helps you stay healthy. They provide free information, services, and free condoms. They have male and female condoms and are there for any questions you have. Stop by Health Services for any questions or concerns. Remember, Eastern, stay safe.
It's never too early to start reading to your kids. Are you prepared for what awaits you? There are amazing possibilities when you open a child's mind to reading. Log on to the Library of Congress website and let the journey begin.
It's not new news that Eastern Police Station is under construction on High Street, but there are high hopes for the almost $2.6 million station to be completed for this summer. The new station brings many changes, such as updated communication systems and more space for evidence and holding cell units. President Nunez said the old station will be torn down to make room for a more pleasant entrance to the university.
As the semester comes to an end, Eastern may be saying goodbye to the Blue Cat. Talks of a new school athlete logo continue. The logo will change from a blue cat to something more representative of a warrior. The blue cat never was printed on Eastern sports team uniforms. The director of the university relations, Dr. Osborne, is working with a number of graphic design companies to convey the warrior in different symbols, ranging from men in suits of armor to depiction of primitive tribes.
Do you need an internship? If so, head to the Student Center patio on Wednesday, April 1st for the Career Services National Internship and Co-op Kickoff Picnic. There will be much information about internships and co-ops for interested students. There will be free gifts for students who attend. Food will be available as well. The picnic will last from 12 to 1 p.m. Hope to see you all there.
Members of Habitat for Humanity will be spending their spring break in a human way. Students will be traveling to Biloxi, Mississippi to help rebuild homes that were damaged during Hurricane Katrina for a week. If you're interested in joining Habitat for Humanity, visit the Eastern homepage and click on clubs and activities to find out more information.
Eastern students volunteer their time at 30 Years Special Tradition. News 22 reporter Megan Fox went to the pool to get the splash.
Students not only work hard in the classroom and on campus, but many of them volunteer their time in the local community. ECSU dove in and made a big splash at Windham Tech.
350 volunteers partnered one-on-one with athletes at the Windham International Special Olympics swim meet. Volunteers helped athletes register, cheered them on, and engage in other activities while not in the pool. We spoke to Glenn Rogers to tell us more about the meet.
And it's just craziness all day, but it's a lot of fun. All the kids are having a great time. There's a lot of Eastern students here.
Students work together with the Special Olympics to assist with the sports clinic, food service, and water safety. The head lifeguard at the meet told us about the event.
My favorite part is watching the kids come down and see the smile on their face when they're done, you know, whether they come in first, whether they come in last. Even today, you know, we saw kids that wait around in the water until everyone is done so that they can slap each other five and congratulate each other. And I think with all the competition, you know, that happens in the world, you know, to see somebody have that kind of good sportsmanship, it touches you and it's just a great experience. It's amazing.
If you're interested in volunteering at other Special Olympic events, visit their website at specialolympics.org. From the Windham Tech Pool, I'm Megan Fox for News 22.
Thanks, Megan. If you'd like to be involved in upcoming volunteer opportunities, head to the Eastern page homepage.
Spring break is next week. Reporter Michelle Jarcy went all over campus to see how students will be spending their free time.
The snow is melting away and spring break is just around the corner. We're here in the Student Center Cafe to find out what Eastern students are doing for their spring break.
I am going to be working at Panera the entire spring break.
I'm driving down to North Carolina to visit family. I'm really excited about it. I haven't seen them in about 2 years, so it's going to be a good time.
I'm not doing anything. I'm staying home and sleeping a lot.
Okay.
I'm going to New Hampshire to visit one of my friends, and we're going to go snowboarding for a few days, and we're going to camp out.
Well, my buddies and I just rented out a timeshare in Virginia Beach, so we'll be driving 9 hours all the way down there, so it should be a good adventure.
Well, I thought I'd catch up on some sleep, probably watch a couple of episodes of The Office. Missed a couple of them, so I'm just going to catch up on that. Mostly sleep, though.
I'm building and designing a greenhouse with my friends, and we're going to build it at my house.
I'm going home to hang out with my friends, and then I'm also going to Boston for a human rights convention.
I'm going up to Canada with some friends to have a good time.
News 22 hopes everyone has a fun yet responsible spring break. I'm Michelle Dracy in the Student Center Cafe for News 22.
Thanks, Michelle. On behalf of News 22, have an enjoyable, relaxing, and safe spring break.
We'll be right back with this week's sports update.
Fire safety is an important part of our well-being on campus. By taking precautions and making smart decisions, fires can be avoided. Be aware of overloaded electrical outlets. Don't leave cooking unattended. And make sure paper and other flammable materials are not placed near the stove. Preventing a fire is important, but knowing what to do if one occurs is just as important. If the alarm sounds, don't panic and evacuate immediately. Refer to your residential hall office for the quickest and safest route, and remember, never take an elevator during a fire. For more information, visit us at www.eastern.edu/DEPTS/police.
Hi, we're back, and we have TJ Somnowski with sports.
Thanks, ladies. Well, Eastern's baseball team is doing well with a 5-0 start to the season. It's an undefeated record. We highlighted a key player on the team as this week's Athlete of the Week. For this week's Athlete of the Week, we chose outfielder and pitcher Jim Schultz of the men's baseball team.
It's a great honor. Never would have, anticipated having this come in such an early time in my career here. But, it feels great to be playing well and having a great year the way we are.
We asked Jim how he and the team were both doing so far this season.
We're playing really well right now. Things look good. Our pitching looks pretty decent, and we got a lot of depth this year. So we got high hopes for the season. Just to play as well as I can. Do my job every day. Come to the ballpark ready to play and help the team win.
We then asked him what it was like to juggle schoolwork and being on a college team. This is what he had to say.
It's tough at times. You get a lot of work, and it piles up at the point where you got games, and you got to manage it pretty well. But I think I'm doing okay. It's no different than anybody else around here, other than you got a little bit of extra time to account for with being in practice and games.
Congratulations, Jim. And be sure to stay tuned for the next Athlete of the Week when we return from spring break. I'm TJ Stupkowski at the ball field, News 22. Check out Jim and the team at their next home game on Saturday, March 28th at the baseball complex. On Wednesday, March 18th, the women's lacrosse team hosted Vassar College at the Mansfield Outdoor Complex. The game was the longest game in Eastern's women's lacrosse history, ending in victory. The match was tied 10-all at the end of regulation, while sophomore midfielder Ashley Delvecchio forced overtime when she netted her third goal of the match on a pass from Taylor McDonald to pull the Warriors even at 10-all. The teams went into overtime 3 times before McDonald scored with 1 minute and 34 seconds gone in the third overtime. This brings the women to a record of 1-3, and their next home game is Saturday, March 28th against Keene State College. Now, the men's lacrosse team had its first match here at Eastern on Wednesday against Mount Ida College.
They led the team to a 14-7 victory. Senior attack Matthew Savage had 3 goals and 3 assists, and junior attack Vinny Tornatori in his first start of the year had 3 goals. This game left Eastern with a 3-1 record, and their next home game is Saturday, March 28th against the University of Southern Maine. Well, that's all for sports this week. I'm TJ Snupkowski, and have a great spring break.
Well, that's it for our show. I'm Sierra Brown.
And I'm Christina Janitatis. Have a great spring break, Eastern.